What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Pillow Talk with Paul Goneau. My guest today is father and chef Onofre Arias.
What's going on?
Yeah, brother. Happy to have you here, sir.
Glad to be here.
Last time we saw each other was, what, the December show?
Yeah.
Yeah? You had a good time?
Oh, awesome time, man. So good. So good.
Yeah, dude.
Very
I'm
well needed.
super happy to hear that.
Especially with the times that we're in, man. Just obviously definitely needed a laugh, right? So it was good times, man. Very good times.
Awesome. Glad. Yeah, I missed November. It's just been weird. I started it up, I think, in August last year.
Yeah.
And didn't have a show in November just because of some COVID bullshit.
Yeah.
And then had one in December. And then, I mean, it wasn't a full lockdown, but comedy bars have been closed just because it's basically pointless for them to be open. They're burning money at that point, just having shows. So I didn't have one this month. But the return of the monthly show is officially February 19th at 11 p.m. So
nice.
Get your tickets. I'm pretty sure they'll be on sale by the time this comes out.
Good.
So, all right. So before we started, you mentioned ayahuasca.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
As a person who's been clean, now when I say clean, it's weird when I say clean because I feel like people have, a different definition depending on, also if they've gone through things and what they were doing before. For me, I'm just saying like...
And the reason they've been doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like for me, it's like chemical drugs. When I say clean, I'm referring to chemical drugs. I don't drink a lot.
Yeah.
Probably get drunk maybe about a handful of times a year. But I smoke a lot of pot.
Nothing wrong with that.
But when I think about coming out of retirement...
If it's for one thing.
Ayahuasca seems like... It's ayahuasca and /or DMT.
Yeah.
You know?
But in essence, they're the same thing too, right? So DMT is something I want to try.
All right, so explain to me the process and like how you took it and where you were, what it felt like, all that shit.
So it's very ceremonial. Like we were literally in I was gonna say like a cottage, beautiful like land that these ladies have there. Like you just want to retire there, man. Like it's just like, oh, I like this is nice. Like that 2 houses. So one is where they sleep, kind of like headquarters. You go there and you eat your meals. And then they have like this other little cottage for basically everyone who's attending for ayahuasca. And the ceremonial room is where basically you have your ceremony and you sleep, and you're literally next to people. Like I mean, next like. And someone you don't know, right? And it's cool because like you get there and you see people and you're all there for the same reason. You're trying to whether it's grief, whatever troubles or pain that you're going through, whatever you're trying to seek answers and you're trying to come to some kind of resolve. And so you see people and you're like, hey, it's the awkward hellos and all that kind of stuff. And then like it's for a weekend, right? But then by the Sunday, you're like, oh my God, I love you, all the best to you.
Are you high the whole weekend?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just just in the evening.
Do they even refer to it as being high? Because it's more of an experience. It's not just like, oh, I'm fucking gonna get high.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's some people that do it for that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And they're honest about it. Because like, you have to go in there with an intention. And you're in a circle, and they ask you, like, what's your intention, right? And some people's like, oh, I'm here to get fucked, right?
But does it actually change the outcome, regardless of what you're there for? You're still there. You're going through an experience that's most likely going to change your life.
Yeah, definitely, right? And it's every experience is different, and to every person, that experience is different. So there are some people that have been there like 4 times, and they didn't get visions, right, or anything, but they've achieved a better, like some kind of peace or like an understanding of where they're at, and then or what they need to let go of before they can kind of take on or jump on to the next step, right, of whatever they are in life, right? And yet some people with some serious trauma, man, I was just like, whoa, like like good on you, like being honest about it, right? Like sharing with people, strangers, that you just met, and you're being completely open about it. And it's just like, whoa, like, like people expressing what they've experienced, and it's just like you feel more connected with them because you're like, wow, like you're entrusting me with something that it's probably the first time you've just openly spoken about, right? Like in public or in front of other people. So it's it was amazing. But the ceremony in and of itself is they start you off. So you're in this room. You got your little sleeping bag or whatever, and they line you up, and then they give you this thing called karunga, right? So karunga is basically it's like a powder, and they just blow it into your nostrils, right?
Oh shit! Okay,
left and right.
I feel like I've seen it done, yeah.
And the stuff is like, I've never done it, but people have told me it's like fucking doing spicy cocaine, man. I was like, what? So they blow it up your nose, and then you feel it like right back here, and you're like, holy shit! And then like you're buzzing, like you're like, what the fuck, right? It's just like, and for like good 5-10 minutes, and like, okay, go sit down. So you go to your space, and you're like, I'm fucking high as a kite right now. Like, what the hell is this? And then after 5-10 minutes, it wears off. Not so much like you just kind of level off, but you just kind of like you're almost like clear minded, and it's just like you're focusing and you're very present. You're not thinking of anything else, and so the idea is that it's supposed to decalcify your third eye. That's the idea behind it. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And then after everyone's done it, and it's funny because like while you're sitting down, you're just hearing other people like, "Wow, oh my god!" So you're just hearing it in the other room, right? And you're just
like, should I do this, man? Yeah.
Like, and then the people who haven't done it, they're like, well, how do you feel? Like, oh man. So people are like nervous and shit. And then anyway, so then once everyone's gone through it, then they have like very like tribal music in the background, whatever, and then then they just line you up, and then you take your ayahuasca. Mm-hmm. They tell you, tell us your intention and why you're here, and then you take quite a big gulp of this stuff, and people ask me like, what does it taste like? And I've been trying to pinpoint it just as a chef, just trying to what does it taste like? It's like mustard seed and like tamarind and
really
it's just like you're just like what, like I'm just trying to like every time like I've tried it, it's just like what does it taste like? I just can't like put my finger on it. So you drink it, you go sit down, and then they just tell us like when the moment will come where you'll start feeling it, and then in that moment the way they explain it to you, it's like you'll decide when you need to lie down.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's not like this is like
I'm fucking lie down right now.
Right? And then so you just sitting there and you just kind of like and the music's going and it's kind of it sets the mood and everything, and then eventually it's just like I need to lie down. and then you're like, whoa. And so so the first experience was really interesting. It was very much battling, or not battling, but like it's almost like I kind of was out of myself, and then it was just my consciousness experiencing my ego.
It's like ego death.
Kind of
what
thing.
They call it? Something
yeah,
like that?
Right. So it's just like I'm
truly out of body experience.
Yeah, right. So it was interesting because it was just like it's like the ego, your ego, and your conscious mind, and then there's like your identity. It's like there's this trinity of you, and it's just like at times they just combat with each other, and you're just trying to fucking figure out like like when it comes to making decisions, when it your upbringing, things that you've gone through, all this kind of stuff, and it's constantly like if you're a very shy person, like why are you shy? Well, because there was a moment that you was created, and you've been shy from there, and it's just like all this stuff that's just like you're and so I was there visualizing it, and it's just like an inner child, like my inner child, my ego, and then my consciousness just like seeing what's going on here, and it's just like what the fuck, and so. And then my ego just constantly trying to distract me. It's like, and you're just like, hey, what are you trying to distract me for? So it's like you're having this like battle going on in your head, right?
All in the span of like 5 seconds. Is it like that?
No, you know what?
It's like, is your thought process like really sped up?
Yeah, it really is. Like it honestly, like so that first day, like so, it's like around 8:00 we started doing it, and then what ended up happening was. This whole time, this whole experience, it felt like maybe 3-4 hours had passed. Mm. But by the one of I guess leads, right? That were there. Like he just at one point he just tapped me on my foot like, hey, it's time for breakfast. I'm like, what? And it's like, holy shit. It's like, okay. And so it was interesting because it was like, I didn't sleep at all. At least it felt like I didn't sleep. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't say I didn't, because like it felt like because I was just consciously aware and up, and so it's almost like I was in between dream world, like reality, being awake and aware, and then like just like REM sleep. It was just
that's
like
wild. Yeah.
It was just like it was like in between of everything, or it's almost like I was in another. It's kind of like extreme, but like in another dimension, just like aware of what was going on. It was trippy, man. But it was really cool. It's just like, it was just mind blowing. It's just like, holy shit, like almost like approaching a door of, things that need to be resolved within myself. Mm-hmm. And so
just really kind of line things up and put them in perspective, I guess.
Yeah, right. Kind of exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And then the next night, or the next day.
So is this is a 2-night ordeal?
Yeah, so you do it Friday, and then you do it Saturday.
Okay.
And then Sunday's just kind of like,
recovery.
You get breakfast, and then, you say your goodbyes, and like, all right, see you later, and that's it. The next day, so basically we do some breathing exercises, which are really intense breathing exercises, and like everybody, didn't matter who you were crying.
Yeah.
Everybody. And it was just like all this just emotion just comes out. And whether it be tears of joy or sadness, whatever, but like everyone was just crying. And it was just like, and you're just like, what the hell's this, like, where's this coming from, right? And then later that night, and there's moments where you just like kind of on your own, you're just reflecting, or you're having discussions and conversations with people about, your experience, what do you think it was, and this and that, the other. Actually, sidetracked, so this one woman that was that laid next to me, was just kind of making small talk. Hey, like, well, what are you here for? Like, you're hoping to get answers and blah 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 blah. And she was saying that she had control issues, right? It's like, oh, okay. And I was like, so is that why you're here, to kind of relinquish that kind of control? This is like, I'm hoping, I'm just a little nervous. I'm like, okay, well, just embrace it. Like, you're here.
Yeah.
You might as well go all in, right?
Right.
The next day, she was pale white. And she was like sick almost. Like I didn't see her for the whole day. She had like a blanket with her all day. Anytime I did see her.
Puking is kind of like a part of the process.
Oh yeah,
right?
It happens. Yeah, it's called purging.
Purging, yes, that's right.
So yeah, a lot of people threw up. A lot of people. I didn't, but
gangster.
No. I did not throw up, but I did go to the washroom, man, and it purged that way, man.
All right,
it was like, oh shit. And so it was fun because like you are tripping when you're on this, and you're just trying to get to the bathroom. You're like, I need to go to the bathroom. And so the next day, she's like the whole day she was just pale and just worst hangover you could ever see on someone. And the next day or the next night we're doing it, she's now worried about, like, I don't know if I can do this, right? And I looked at her. I'm just like, listen, I'm no expert in anything like this, but I think your first night experience was because you were trying to control something that you have no control over. I go, maybe that's your lesson, and maybe this time, like, let go, right? And I go, I'm not forcing you to anything, obviously, right? So if you don't want to do it, don't do it. They'll definitely understand, right? But she's like, no, you know what? Maybe that's what I need to do. And her trip the next day was just like, oh my God, and like completely different, right? So my second night experience was just basically, it was all visuals. There was no explanation of anything. It was just like, do you remember Doctor Strange?
Was it the same amount, or did they give you more?
No, the same amount.
Okay.
Right. Well, like the first night I did it twice. So you went out. I did 2 shots of this stuff, right? And then the second night I just did 1, but I was just like, yo, I'm gonna go 3. I'm gonna go hard in the pain, right? And I did 1, but it was all I needed, right? Which was just odd, right? And I did the 1, and it was the visuals just like Doctor Strange, when like, when he's like kind of like traveling in through all the different dimensions and all that kind of stuff, and when the Ancient One kind of just was fucking with him. That's what it was. And I was like, whoa. And it was so trippy. And then for me, it was just like trying to wrap my head around it. It's like, what was the meaning of that, right? So again, I don't know, but it was just like, it was cool. Right? So for me, it was one of those things. It's just like, after that experience, like, you know what, I think I would do this like one more time, right? Really go like just focus solely on it, really deep. Try to unravel, some questions and get some answers out of those questions, and yeah, and just and see from there. But like it's one of those things, just like, oh, I gotta do it again. That was a great trip, and like it's like a party drug or anything like that. It's like no, it's like this was very spiritual kind of. So
yeah, that's why I kind of felt wrong saying hi, because I felt like it's just a misrepresentation of what it actually
definitely
is.
But yeah, it's one of those things like it's I know it's not for everyone, but I do recommend it for everyone.
Yeah, nothing's for everybody. Yeah. But I mean, you also should experience things so if they're for you or not.
Yeah,
100%. I feel like
100%.
Try things out.
Yeah.
It sounds very similar. I've done acid a few times in my life. Yeah. It sounds very similar to that, just kind of heightened. Yeah. Maybe like a twin full. I don't know, just a little bit to the more of the extreme side.
Like I've done acid as well, so
okay. Yeah, I've had a lot of those out of body experiences and stuff like that with acid. Mushrooms a little bit too. Yeah. But I feel like every time I think about visuals, it's funny because I would never have expected it to happen, but I've done salvia a few times. Okay. And I mean, it doesn't last very long. Yeah. But I'm used to, like I said, I smoke a bit of pot, and I'm used to smoking like fat bowls, man. Yeah. And so I grab a couple packs of like the strongest salvia from like a fucking Hasty Market, and I go to my buddy Joe's house, and he just moved into a house, and his basement was all white. The walls were like freshly white, so it was like there were no blemishes on it or anything, right? Yeah. It's kind of like, I guess, wide. Yeah. It's long and wide. Yeah. His basement, and we're sitting like, I don't know, on a couch, and we're kind of close. His other wall was probably about as close as this wall is to us. Okay. But there's nothing on it. And so we smoke these bowls, and I'm just sitting staring at this wall, and I'm like, I walk up to the wall. I felt legitimately like this wall was like infinite space. Like I could just walk into it, and I was like, bro, like this wall... For some reason, this wall was tripping me out, man. Like hardcore. I had to get Post-its and put them along the wall so I could see the shadow on the wall and realize that I couldn't go into it. I don't know, man. Visually, salvia gave me, I guess, the most memorable time. Like, going into acid, you're like, oh, I'm going to see fucking pink elephants and shit like that. Everyone paints this fucking picture, and it's not exactly like that. But man, I think where was that? Where was that experience?
Ayahuasca?
Yeah, Shelburne. Yeah.
And it was interesting because like a month later, so I did it in October, and then a month later, me and I went with my twin brother, and in November for Remembrance Day every year, him and his army buddies, they all meet up, kind of drink and reminisce and all that kind of stuff or whatever, and so I went to one of his buddies' place in Petawawa, and we went deep on mushrooms, man. It was just like I did 6 grams of mushrooms, and we were watching the Three Amigos. Mm-hmm. That movie on mushrooms is fantastic, man. It was so good, man. So like for me, like that mushroom experience was just crazy too, right? So it's just like the visuals and everything. So I was like, holy shit. That was good times, man.
Yeah, I saw Kill Bill for the first time on mushrooms.
Oh, nice.
And I remember, like, waking up and, like, the scene, I guess she was buried alive. And she was kind of trying to punch herself out. And I woke up and I was like, did this happen? Did we watch something where this happened? Because this is wild. Yeah. And, I had to watch it again. And it totally lived up.
Yeah.
Mushrooms, I don't know, man. I always feel like there's a part within the trip, and it's been a while, like I said, like over 10 years, that like I get paranoid with mushrooms. That's what it was. Like it starts off nice, I felt like, for me, but at some point, even if it was just for like 5 minutes, I'd be like, everyone hates me. Someone's looking at me over there. Why did they just look at me? Yeah. And I'm trying to like just dissect a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's like, man,
it's just like you're overthinking.
Means nothing.
Kind of yeah. You're just completely overthinking. You're just like, what's the meaning of this? And it's just like, no, just you're fucked right now. That's okay. Just go with it, right?
I remember I had a house party when I was like in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And like did a bunch of mushrooms, and then I had like a t-shirt on, and I was getting a little chilly, so I wanted to put like I had this button-up shirt.
Yeah.
Dude, like what I mean, like I obviously you're putting a shirt on, you're going in through the bottom.
Yeah.
I should have really unbuttoned it, but I wasn't there, and so I tried to get into it, and like I felt like it just closed on me.
Oh shit, eh?
And I was trying to figure out where my arm... Dude, this is real story. And I kept trying to stick my head through like 2 of the buttons.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, someone needs to come here and help me. I felt like trapped. I felt like I was doing it for like 5 minutes. It was probably only like, 30 seconds. But yeah, man. Definitely had some good times. I'm not the kind of guy that glorifies drug use. I think that's irresponsible. And
Definitely.
But I do think it's important, like we said a little bit earlier, just to like try things, experiment, live your life. I think it's also really important to get a lot of that. Like, ayahuasca's on a different playing field, but I think the older you get, the harder it is to get out of that stuff. So fucking experiment when you're young, man. Yeah.
Well, and the thing is too is like obviously like for example, like me, I've never done cocaine, never done heroin. Like I've no need or urge or anything like to try any of those, because for me it's not for me. I find them, at least through what other people tell me, it's just more physical. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And for me it's just like no, I like more of the
psychedelic, the mind, that kind of stuff. Stuff that makes you think.
Yeah, right. So it's just like, because like you hear all these amazing artists or great thinkers that have just like, taken these things and it's just brought in great ideas and this and that. It's just like shit. There's something here. This is more, medicinal for the mind, if you will, or for the soul, if you will.
For the soul, yeah.
Right. So those are the kind of things I'm more interested in. And so like for example, like when I did the 6 grams of mushrooms, it wasn't just to get fucked up. I mean, it was part of it, but it wasn't just like, yo, let me push myself here and visually and spiritually and see what comes of it. And like, we had some fun or whatever, but then like going to bed, it was just like, it was just crazy. I was just there lying. There's like no, just in my own thoughts. It was just in my own world. And it was just like, it was interesting. It was just like, whoa, just being present in that moment. And it was just like, and times can be difficult because you're constantly thinking about, a bill to pay, or I got to go to work tomorrow, or whatever. And this moment's just like nothing else mattered. It was just what you're going through right now, and you just kind of let go of everything. So it was great. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I've always kind of been a person like raised in foster homes and stuff. My mom did a fair amount of drugs. I'm sure she still does, because she's just a shit person. But like I was always like, okay, I'm not gonna do crack, heroin, or meth. Yeah. But as a person who's done like other stuff, like I used to sell some party drugs and stuff like that, so I dabbled a bit. And I mean, mostly my selling was just really to support my own habit. Like I wasn't, buying things and
like Rolls Royces or anything.
Right. Yeah. And I definitely, I think it says a lot in what drug you're doing. Like if you're doing like coke, ecstasy, Molly, or whatever the fuck they're called, all those like kind of like
party,
the rushy drugs, the ones that fuck with your metabolism and stuff like that, rather than your mind.
Yeah.
They're never as good. The experiences are just it's just
temporary.
It's there and it's gone. Yeah. Right? With like acid, I'm trying to think of how to word it for people that haven't done it, because it's so hard to explain.
It's like I think the best way to explain it is like those like party drugs. It's kind of like they're momentary, and it's like, oh, it was great, I felt great, but that was it. Like there's no substance, right? But then the ones that are more on the psychedelic is just like, whether it be 15 minutes or 12 hours or whatever, there's a feeling that stays with you, and then it's just like you're trying to capture that feeling and embrace that feeling and dig into that feeling and understand that feeling, and you're just like, there's substance into it, right?
Yeah, like, okay, so I feel like, okay, this is how I'm going to try to explain it. Okay, so it's like, I've done acid maybe 3 or 4 times. I'm pretty sure 3 times, but maybe 4 times. And each time, it just, there was no going back. It was like, the first time was the most monumental because it was the first time. And it's like, as soon as I took it, it's like the world is like a puzzle.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pieces missing. You have a few pieces.
Yeah.
But then you... I really hope this doesn't sound like I'm glorifying drugs. I'm trying to explain the experience. But, and then, you know, I took acid. Actually, the first time I did acid, I did like 2 grams of mushrooms. It was my 19th birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to grab acid, or I went to grab mushrooms, and then the guy I was grabbing, I found out it was my birthday. He was like, "Here, man." And so, I take the mushrooms and the acid at his place, and then he drives me home. Yeah. And like on the highway, it's like the lights
starts kicking in.
Dude, legitimately, like the lights start blurring as we're driving on the highway. Shit. And the guy who's driving, he's got some like house music, some like techno shit on, and he's like this the whole time, and I'm like in the back, like just triple checking my seatbelt and shit like that. But like, okay, so as soon as really it hit me, it was like a door opened, and I had access to all these puzzle pieces that I didn't have, and it just kind of made the world make a little more sense. And it was like I was saying about how the thought process with ayahuasca, I was asking about that because my experiences with acid, it was like I could look at, just say, this painting, right? And I would see all the things that were collected to make each individual color, who got them, how old they were, where they were born, what their family tree was, you know, where they mixed it, the materials that they got to use to make the can that they mixed. It's like, this
web.
Just the information was coming so quick, and this doesn't look too good. But that's how it was. It was just hitting me, and everything was just, I could look at the light, and I saw the history of the light, and anyone that ever had anything to do with the light. And it was just, there was no going back. Yeah. You know, as soon as you do that, but with like, ecstasy is like, okay, like I'm really...
You feel good,
got my jaw, and I love everybody, and everything feels amazing, but then at the end of it, I feel like shit. Yeah. And I never liked that. I feel like we were kind of on the same level. Like, I did dabble in that stuff. Yeah. But, I feel like we're kind of dealing with that thing on the same level, man. Yeah. But that's good, dude. Party drugs were kind of... There's things I like. I have cool stories. Yeah, I mean... But, you know, it can get dark fast.
It can. And that's why it's always like if you're going to be experimenting or trying to make, you know, like... make sure your head's in the right space, too. Like, because I've had some friends, like, just, you know, they've had a bad breakup or something, and then they decide to take shrooms. It's like, ooh, that's not a good call, right? You know?
No.
And they thought, like, it would help them escape. It's like, no, it's going to dig a hole for you instead, right? So
go through a breakup, do some mushrooms, watch the news. Yeah. What are you doing, buddy?
So you know, that's the thing. Just get, you know, like kind of, it's like oxymoron, but get your head right before you do it. You know, so it's just like, that's kind of like what I kind of not encourage, but just tell people if they want to try mushrooms or whatever. Just make sure you're in the right headspace. Yeah. You know, because like, and if you're gonna do it with friends that, you know, that you're comfortable, you're in a safe space with them, and that, you know, because it can go bad real quick. Like, I'm lucky I've never had a bad experience. I kind of like, you know, Jesus take the wheel kind of attitude with it. So I've been lucky in that sense. But so it's just, I just try to tell that to people.
My girlfriend is a huge Chili Pepper fan, and because of that, like, she reads all these stories about drugs and stuff like that, and she really wants to try like acid. But she can't even handle edibles, man. I am not kidding. It's not her bag. Actually, it might have been the December show. Okay, so there's like this, it's like kind of like my ritual now before my show to go to this cafe across the street from Comedy Bar. Yeah. It's just called Cafe. Yeah. I originally went there because, like, I'm not a big drinker, like I said. Yeah. And I was like, show's at 11. Get down there around 10. I was like, I need a fucking coffee, man. Yeah. You know, and then, so we went there because it said cafe, and we found out it was like a weed cafe, right? Yeah. So I put a little weed in my coffee. And I just want to say, weed coffee, like, that is the most amazing combination that, if you like coffee and you like weed, man, it's the perfect combination of, like, pick me up and, like, mellow out.
Because it's almost like they would, like, like cancel each other out.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, it's such a weird thing. I'm relatively new to it. Like, my first time was, I think, trying it was like August. It's like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I grabbed these, like, this little thing of pretzels.
Yeah.
And I brought them to, like, the green room. And she's, I don't know, helping me bring some things into the green room and set up. And she ends up taking, like, one of the pretzels without thinking about it. And she doesn't smoke weed or do anything like that.
Yeah.
She drinks a little bit of wine here and there. And then, like, after the show, she was just, like, jacked, man. She's like, I shouldn't have had that. I had one.
Yeah.
Like, how strong were these?
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was 300 milligrams in the whole container, so it's really hard to say how much it was, but probably, like, 10, 15 milligrams.
Okay. Yeah,
which is not a lot.
It's an average dose, yeah.
And she was...
Gone, eh?
Yeah, so I don't think anything else is for her.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just, you get bit by bit, you know, you almost like you build a tolerance. Like, for me, like, when I do edibles, it's like, I do, like, 100 milligrams. Because anything less, it's just like I'm not feeling anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
yeah, no,
like,
I'm the same, yeah.
All right, so it's just like, and it's not that I'm trying to, like, you know, get to the Joey Diaz level of shit, right? But it's like...
No one wants to get there.
No. But yeah, it's just like, you know, like, okay, like, I gotta up the ante because, you know, I really want to kind of feel it out and experience it, right? So, yeah, no, everyone's different. That's it.
I'd like to get into the weed industry. Like, as a job.
Yeah.
You know? I'm kind of losing a lot of my love for the culinary industry.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, especially because of COVID, man. Like, it's just really...
It's really hard. It's such uncertain times. What do you just got a new job?
Yeah, I just recently got a new job after looking for, 8-9 months.
It's in the culinary industry too?
Yeah, food manufacturing.
Okay.
Doing the same thing, like airline food and stuff like that. Company seems okay so far. Like about 2 weeks in. But just kind of seeing a lot of underlying kind of, like the heavy politics and...
That every place has, yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like, so one good thing is just like I'm very isolated. I'm in an isolated location to the rest of the company, so it's kind of like it's my facility. It's, hey, okay, I'm just going to straighten it out here, and I'm not going to deal with any of that BS or minimize as much as I can of it, right? Yeah. So, so it's just, it's work in progress and just sorting out the chaos and but yeah, so far it seems all right.
I don't even really, I let the kind of, I'm not against those kind of people that expose themselves and let you see who they are, right? Yeah. It's like I kind of prefer that.
Oh, for sure. The devil you know.
Because then it's like it's like, okay, I just don't like dealing with shit,
yeah.
like at all, or just people that complain a lot. Yeah. It's like I just don't like. Look, man, like I don't want to be here either, but I'm not fucking complaining all the time. You know. Actually, fucking really miss you over there, man. It's been a weird journey with Scarlet House.
Yeah, no.
But it hasn't been the same since fucking Milk Creek.
I know. That's the thing. Like that's one thing I missed is Milk Creek because like we had such a good team. It was good vibes. Like everyone came in, did their job, and all right, let's get out.
I feel like I just
settled in.
Yeah, and then it was like, oh yeah, we're slowing down significantly, and then
it was heartbreaking, man. It sucked. It really did. But hey, way of the world sometimes, man.
Yeah, it's what I am decent at.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've just been thinking about maybe taking it somewhere else. I don't really want to... It's weird because, like, back in the day, I was arrested for, like, possession, trafficking.
Yeah.
But the possession and trafficking charges were when I was under 18.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, it's been a while since I've been pulled over, but I've been pulled over since then, like, as an adult.
Yeah.
And they always mention that. And they're like, oh, if it's under 18 and blah, 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 and this thing, I got an absolute discharge. But they still mention these charges when I get pulled over.
Yeah.
Like, after, when I'm an adult. Like, something's not right, and I'm wondering how the industry works related to, like, because, there's government jobs growing weed. But then the people that got arrested for growing weed 10... years ago or so, like, could they do it?
I don't know.
Are they eligible? What's
What's
happening with all those charges?
Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, under 18, it's just like, once you're an adult, right, then it's just like that stuff should be, like, clean and cleared. Maybe, like, on record, but it shouldn't be...
But even as an adult, say, like, right now, I got, like, or when I was 20 or something like that, I got arrested for some weed. Like, you'd think they would make some lane for people to go through to get their, what's it called? Their record, what is it?
Like clearing the record.
Like a pardon?
Pardon.
Yes.
I would think so. I mean, I don't see why not, because it's like, again, it says, yeah, it was a different time. I get it. It was against the law, but like, hey, we're at different times now, and that's all it was. Now it's allowed in cafes and all that kind of stuff. Like, so it's like, is it really still a bad crime? You know what I mean? So I think, you could probably get it pardoned. I don't see why not.
I'll look into it.
Especially with the times now. It's like, come on, like, like, I was 20 years old. Like, come on, man. Like, like, I was still a kid.
But really, when it happened, I think I was like 16 or 17.
Yeah.
And because they brought it up in my 20s, I just been under the impression that I won't be able to go
like
in the States
kind of
and shit like that.
Yeah.
I haven't tried. This is all just really, it's just in my mind at the moment, but I feel like there's a good reason to kind of have that feeling. I definitely got to look into it because I want to start, like, if anything, like last year I probably would have gone maybe out of Ontario to do some comedy, and she just, fucking got messed up.
Yeah, I'll see if I can ask some people kind of in that area, see if they have any answers. I can look into it a little bit for you.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it at some point. I was thinking maybe one time I go get like my passport, go to Niagara Falls, and just try to fucking walk across and see what happens. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, they just tell you to turn around.
Go back. Yeah. So that seems like it's the way to not get the runaround. Yeah. So I find with a lot of these like government agencies, it's just like call this place and leave a message or email this, and it's never direct.
Like to someone.
And it's so frustrating. Everything takes like a crazy amount of time. It's not even, it's like, oh, like, it's illegal for your job to do that. It's like, hey man, I've worked for places where it's been illegal to do plenty of things. And it's like, do you know how to go to actually get something to happen or even get someone to look into what you're talking about? Yeah. It's like, it's almost not worth it. Yeah. It's gotta be.
It's pulling teeth all the time, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that, shit,
I hate dealing with the government.
Maybe it's on purpose. Who knows, right? Just to set it up that way.
I mean, I feel like a little bit of it is.
Listen, for me, listen. not to get too political, but I'm all for needing government, but I don't want the government in my business. And just like for me, I'm very strong about. There's 3 things the government should only be responsible for, and it's just like, protecting the borders and individuals, being responsible or like refereeing contracts between people, and that means like when you go buy a chocolate bar at a convenience store and selling for $2 and you pay $2, like that's a contract. You agreed to buy this fucking chocolate bar for $2, right? Done. To the contractor that you hired to renovate your home for $10,000 and he doesn't do a job properly or whatever, and then like, yo, get your money back kind of thing, right? And the third one was can't think of the top of my head. Shit. I think just managing like safety with people, so like ambulance, firefighters, and things of that nature. And that's it. Other than that, like that's it. Like we don't need you for anything else.
Right? No, but they just have their hands in so many things. It's like get the fuck. What is it? I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm kind of. I don't really believe in politics myself.
Yeah. Like I hated something like I can't help but like get into it because he just sees like because this is gonna eventually affect. Whether it be my kid, because she's only 3 years old right now, and it's just like you want to make a better world for them, and also then you see it going in a certain direction. You also I need to then it's going in this direction no matter what now. So now I need to prepare her for what's coming. So it's like you're trying to manage both, and it's just like fuck. So yeah, it's annoying.
How old's your daughter?
She's 3.
She's 3.
She turned 3 in October. Yeah, man, she's just amazing.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned as a parent?
Be present.
Be present.
Yeah, it's a big one because you as a father, you kind of take on the responsibilities you want to provide and protect and all these kind of things, and so you constantly think like, get a job and it's got to get good money and where am I going to take her to school and all this kind of stuff, but then because she's just a child and she's just always present, it just kind of hey, right now that doesn't matter, just be present, right? So it's just like that's I'd say the biggest lesson I've learned. Be present. So like even before I came here I was like we're watching Frozen and playing with her Paw Patrol toys. It's just like, yeah, man, let's do it up. So that was it. So it's just be present, like nothing else mattered. That's it. So it was good. It's good.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like Frozen?
1.
Okay.
Because I didn't really even watch it, so I was just I don't know what the hell the story's about.
You just keep hearing the songs over and over. I get it. Let it go. All right. The thing I like now, I'm not sure if it was like this back in the day, because obviously I was a child. But it seems like now there's more entertainment that appeals to both.
Adults and kids.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
just to get them tuned into it as well, right?
Yeah. Is there like anything that you actually, you said Frozen was a 1. Is there anything that's like higher that you actually enjoy watching with your daughter? That like a 3-year-old, and how old are you?
38.
38-year-old can both enjoy.
Well, I recently watched with her Enter the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
With her.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of testing it because it's animated, so I figured she'd probably like it. And then
good.
Yeah. And then and then she was into it. It was like 5 minutes in, like, oh, she's into it. I'm like, all right, we're good. So we watched the whole thing, right? And then like 2 days later, it's like, Mommy, I want to watch Spider-Man. I'm like, yes. So
did it. Learn them young.
Yeah, so it's just like little things like that. So I would say that's the one movie that's kind of got her into it. So, but I got like DVDs of like season 1 and 2 of like Thundercats and all that stuff. So there's gonna be definitely in the future when she's a little older, bowl of cereal on a Saturday morning. It's just like, hey, this is how Daddy did it back in the day. And that's it, man. So
yo, when we worked together, you had a Spider-Man mug.
Yeah.
When that shit shut down, did you get it?
Yeah.
Bro, my Venom mug?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even remember when I first started, I saw your Spider-Man mug, and I was like, oh, I have a Venom mug. And so I brought it in, and, like, I tilted it on its side, and I put my Venom mug kind of on top of it, and he comes in, it's like, who did this? Whose mug is this? And it was fucking hilarious. But, yeah, man, I lost my Venom mug, dude.
Shit.
Yeah.
See?
Handle was a tongue and shit. It was so cool, dude.
So wicked, man.
And actually, when I seen Scott, and I mentioned it to Scott. Scott was like, oh, no, it's here. Blah, blah, blah. And he went looking for it. Apparently, it did get moved, but I'm sure someone saw it and was like,
probably
this is mine now.
Yeah. Because I remember, like, I put everything in boxes, and then it was just like, and then, but yeah, like, I mean.
He actually, to his credit, he came up with something else that I didn't even, he was just like, oh, there's this Marvel apron. It was just around the kitchen.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, it's been here for a bit. Like, yeah. And I was like, fucking
nice.
A, I have it now. Dude, it's so sick. It's just Spider-Man, but it says Marvel on it and has like a bunch of different like comic sections of Spider-Man doing shit on it.
Oh,
really
that's cool, man. That's really
cool. You see No Way Home?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, best one so far, man. Best one. It was just, like, not to ruin it for it, was just like, yeah.
No, dude, I talked about it on the last episode.
Beautiful.
Go ahead.
So it's just like, it's like, the reason why it's the best one is because all 3 of them were in it. You know what I mean?
It was the perfect combination of, characters. And I heard there was a lot more interaction between, I'm really hoping they do like a serious extended cut and put in all the stuff that I guess they're just trying to tell, a story, and things were branching off a little too far, so they kind of, trim the fat a little bit. But I know that it's gonna be, good stuff. Like all the stuff they cut is probably gold.
Oh, for sure, 100%, man.
I mean, my usual thing with Marvel movies is that there's too much going on. Like, I'm a big on like character development and just learning things about characters, not just seeing them do things.
Yeah.
And so, like, with the amount of characters they have, it's hard to do that. And I felt, I mean, if you heard about it, you'd be like, oh, well, like, how are they gonna be able to tell 3 Spider-Man stories in one movie, have all these villains? How's it gonna work? Like, Spider-Man 3, like, had too much crammed into it, and I think that's why people think it's, it's one of the worst Spider-Man movies. Yeah. But this is arguably, well, for me, legitimately, man, I'll say it's my favorite Marvel movie to date. Like, out of anything. Yeah. Like, pre-MCU.
You weren't a fan of Howard the Duck?
I actually am a fan of Howard the Duck. I'm not even going to lie.
It's the first Marvel movie, man. A lot of people forget.
But yeah, really nailed it. And I think that Toby's gonna be in Doctor Strange 2. I've heard that.
Oh shit, eh?
I've heard a lot of rumors for Doctor Strange 2. Like,
that'd be interesting.
I mean, what's Captain America's name again? Chris Evans?
Chris Evans, yeah.
So I think he's coming back as his fantastic, what was he?
Human Torch.
Human Torch, thank you. And there's just, like, all those old, fuck. I wish I could remember. I saw, like, a list of, like, 20 characters, old, fantastic, like, Jessica Alba, and all these people from fucking,
Just to kind of make a quick appearance kind
Ben
of
Affleck as Daredevil.
Oh, shit,
dude.
That'd be sick.
Dude, if they're really gonna do
It'd
that...
be a nice little tie, like, hey, this is just, it was all part of the universe.
I love that shit.
Yeah, it's so wicked.
They're both gonna end up, DC's gonna end up doing that with the Flash movie. I think that's coming out this year. But it's basically gonna be, you know, their version Flashpoint, and they're doing the same thing.
Flashpoint Paradox, one of my favorite animated movies, man. It's just like, yo, that storyline was so crazy.
It's amazing. Like, for me, like, this multiverse thing, I should look into the history, but I want to say it was initially created by DC, and when people think about it, even the huge Marvel guys are like, Flashpoint. Yeah. It's the most, I guess, memorable, or maybe it's just the easiest name to remember. I'm not sure. Yeah. But fucking Marvel got it out first, and now I think it's always going to be like, oh, look at DC trying to copy Marvel again. But it's not that. It's just, I mean, they're competitors. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, the only thing, like, I've been disappointed, like, I mean, up until recently, the Snyder Cut, finally that came out, was just, DC was just so lagging because, like, there's so much depth in these characters, and they're just, like, it's almost like they're just, I don't know, it's just, like, just a shallow version of them. It's just like, come on, there's more than just this shit. Like, and that's why DC is just, was always behind, and it's just, in my opinion at least, right? And then that's why, like, the MCU, the way Disney's doing it now, is like, they're smart, man. Like, the Infinity Saga was just like, yeah, like you were saying, like, they introduced all these characters, and then all these things were going on, and it was just all this chaos, but they tied up with Endgame, just like everything just connected and like all tied up nicely, right? It's just like Endgame was an almost perfect movie, right? There's just two things I was a little disappointed in, but other than that, I was like, this movie was amazing, right?
Yeah, like, as a huge comic book guy, I think arguably DC has, like, some of the biggest characters, like, when people, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Yeah. You know, obviously Marvel is just, they're killing it now, and a lot of their lower level characters are becoming top tier guys. Yeah. And it's even happening with DC, like right now with Peacemaker and the amount of noise that this fucking shit's making. Either way, I think DC is on the right track now. Yeah. I just wish that the best thing that Marvel is doing, I think they have a lot of misses with their movies, but I think that connecting everything is the smartest thing they could ever do. That's why that's really why the Spider, you know, No Way Home was so great, is because my buddy said this after we saw it in theaters. He was just like, man, like, I never felt like, as a huge nerd, I've actually invested my time in a good way. Like, this feels like a good investment of my time, just because, you know.
Well, that's the thing too, is it's almost like they're smart on that end, because it's just like, you want to watch a movie, like, let's just say Shang-Chi, where it's like, you know, not too many people knew about the character, but it's just like, I need to watch it because...
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. But like, and again, me personally, I didn't know much about the character, but I went to go watch it because it's, okay, here's another character, but then you know there's going to be Easter eggs, and you got to see the end credits, so it's like, you have to now invest. You need that other puzzle piece to connect to, you know, the next phase of what what Marvel's going to be bringing to the table, right? So it's just like, it's good. They got you hooked, line and sinker, man. It's just
I like how they cleared up, and they kind of did it. They did, I think, a one-shot after Iron Man 3, and they cleared up, like, the Mandarin issue. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. That was kind of a movie that blew me away because I didn't expect much. Yeah. I was in Toronto. I was actually working at this, what is it, Kimball or Signet?
Signet, yeah.
The one in Toronto in North York. And so I finished work, and I had a show that night. So I was like, I'm not fucking going back. Like, I don't drive, so I'm not spending 2 hours to get home, 2 hours to get back to Toronto. Yeah. So I just kind of stayed and lingered, went to see that movie by myself, and, like, man, I missed... martial arts movies like that. I'm excited for the next one. That was a really good one. Yeah. But, like, with all the stuff that you know, all the history and 75 years worth of comics and all this shit.
Yeah.
It's like, in my mind, we could have 3 different Batman going on at the same time. Like, I don't care. We could go any way. It all makes sense to me.
Yeah,
like, I'm not like, oh, how could you have... Like, I get it.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just do it. And DC's like, I don't think this new Batman movie's connected. Don't get me wrong. I'm super hyped. Batman's, like, my guy.
Yeah.
But, like, I would obviously prefer them to connect it to other shit. I think with the Flash movie... Hopefully they'll
do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because that's why, like, the whole rumors of Michael Keaton, right? Like, when I heard...
Oh, he's in it. For sure, he's in it.
Yeah, like, but when I heard about the new Batman that's coming out, and I really thought it was gonna... This was, like, before any trailers or anything like that. It was
new Batman with Robert Pattinson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be Batman Beyond.
That's what I want.
Because then you have Michael Keaton there, and be like, yo, it would have been epic, man.
Dude, in all honesty, it seemed like, I mean, that's my dream.
Yeah.
I got a live action Red Hood, which was like one of my dreams, like as a nerd. And now my next one is Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
And that's truly what it seemed like they were doing, because in the Justice League and Batman vs. Superman, like, he had been deep into it. Yeah. He was bitter in Batman vs. Superman. He had been doing it for years, you know, and in Justice League, you could see him getting, like, after battles and stuff, just being, like, super sore and just getting worn down towards the end of his run. And I just thought, like, man, like, who would be a better... But I mean, Michael Keaton too, dude. Yeah, I'm not against that at all. If he was the Bruce Wayne to the Batman Beyond.
It makes sense, because like, you look at the timeline, he's obviously older now, he can't do it anymore, so he needs somebody else to take the mantle, man.
Yeah, and like... I don't want to be that guy who's like, because 100% Batman is my favorite superhero. Yeah. He's been forever. But also, I think DC... Like, what's so good about Peacemaker is it's new.
Yeah.
You know, DC needs to start... Like, with Marvel, when they started coming out with this MCU shit, they didn't have the rights to their 2 biggest properties, Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. Yeah. Right? So they were just... We're like, okay, who's our tier 2... Top of the tier 2. Yeah. And so, like, you know, Hulk, Iron Man...
Yeah.
Captain America. And... So they kind of started going with those, and now they're just bringing a lot of light to, like, these characters that weren't known. And for me, even Guardians of the Galaxy, like, I knew of them, but I hadn't read anything and stuff like that. So when I went to see Guardians, it was completely new to me, and it's like, it was my favorite Marvel movie until No Way Home. Yeah. And DC just needs to do that. Yeah. That's why I thought Suicide Squad did so well, is because, like, it was just refreshing. It was all these characters that people weren't familiar with. Yeah. Polka Dot Man was fucking badass. Yeah. Like, what do you mean?
But that's the thing too. Like, when they brought him in, I was like, oh shit, I remember him from the Batman animated series.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
This is wild. Yeah. How are they gonna do this? They got the perfect guy to play him.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is because he's in Batman, the Chris Nolan version.
Wait, the actor.
Yeah, the actor.
Yeah, he's in a lot of superhero stuff, actually, dude.
Right? So it's like, oh, like, I wonder if they could or wouldn't, like, because he's crazy and he was a mental patient. Is there some kind of connection that they probably make with that? So it'd be interesting if they do. But
at the end of the day, do you know The Rock, Dwayne Johnson? He's going to be Black Adam.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
He has, like, publicly said he wants Marvel and DC to, like...
clash, eh?
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
And, I mean, they've done it in the comics, and they've even joined forces. I don't know if you know, they've created, like, hybrid characters and even their own character Access before. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. And if anybody could, like, push the right buttons to make that shit happen, The Rock... Yeah. Come on, man.
That would be sick. But
that'd be sick.
I wouldn't see that until, like, I guess DC's come out with, like, a lot of, like, I guess, substance with movies and stuff like that, the way the MCU has.
This is what I was trying to get at, and I trailed off before. The main difference between the two is that, and this is why Marvel's fucking doing amazing. Yeah. But for DC, I feel like it's made more for... people that have adults, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they just have actual sex. You can see titties in DC stuff, and people actually like doing it.
Yeah. Like The Watchmen, like that was a gritty movie, man.
Even Peacemaker, we just saw some titties. I think it's Suicide Squad too. I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But is that DC makes it for people that have maybe a little bit of the knowledge. They make it more for a niche audience, the hardcore fans of like comic books and stuff like that. And Marvel, although they do have sprinkles of those moments, it's like Marvel's focus, I think, has been
to like the general public.
And it's like kind of like recruiting new people that aren't aware. It's making it like kind of like simplifying things and make it easy to understand for people that aren't aware of backstories and origins and things like that. Yeah. And I think that's really kind of what's been doing good for them.
100%.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. And that's the thing. Like, and I think that's where DC's kind of struggling. And that's they kind of need to open up and kind of just bring in new recruits and bring people why this story's good or that hero's good and all that kind of stuff.
I'm thinking positive though, bro. Last year was the best. I think last year was a monumental year and it might be because the year previous was garbage, but so many good superhero movies last year.
Oh yeah, man.
And this year it's going to be good.
Yep. Looking forward to it, man.
What are you currently watching right now?
TV show wise, Dexter.
Like the new
one. My wife was mentioning about one called OA on Netflix.
Oh, I couldn't get into it.
So
my girlfriend liked that one, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm watching it. I'm kind of like trying to I haven't gotten so much traction into it. Like there's things that are interesting, and I'm just it's almost like I'm just gathering all this intel, and I'm just enduring a lot of the shit. Just say like, hey, there better be this peak into this thing, right? Like I'm the crescendos better be big. So I'm hoping. So we'll see.
Alright, I won't say anything. You haven't kind of watching, I guess that would be a show you say like your wife picked.
Yeah, 100%.
Pick of hers. Yeah. So for Christmas I got my girlfriend, one of her favorite shows is Mad Men.
Okay.
And we've been together for almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
The whole time she's been trying to get me to watch it. And I'm just not. It took a lot. She got me to watch The Office for the first time.
Okay.
And granted, The Office is decent. Yeah. I'm not a huge Steve Carell fan, but he's decent in it. And I end up liking the show.
Yeah.
Mad Men just never really seemed appealing. I'm not going to say it's the greatest show in live. We're probably on maybe the 4th season.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's okay. I find it funny because, have you seen it?
I've seen a few episodes. I tried getting into it because people were like, "Oh, it's a great show," and I'm like, I get it. Marketing during the 60s, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then it's just it's and then obviously the the behavior of all the men and stuff because of the time, smoking cigars and and drinking scotch at 10 a.m. in the office, and I get it. It's just but it's I couldn't get any traction on the show either.
No, it was never an appealing show to me. And her whole thing, she asked me before Christmas, for Christmas, I just want you to watch Mad Men with me. And I was like, fuck. So I got this set. It has they have these because they're all alcoholics.
Yeah.
And they have these tumblers with this silver at the top. So
okay.
It came with 2 of those.
Oh, yeah. And
it's every season. And so we've been kind of going through it. And I think it's funny because to me, the show is all about the women.
Yeah.
I love the women in the show, especially, I think her name...
The redhead?
Peggy Olsen.
Yeah.
Elizabeth something. I don't know. She was the main guy's secretary. She started and she's slowly, moving her way up.
Yeah.
And I just think the women are way more interesting. Mad Men is a misleading name.
Yeah.
7 out of 10, maybe 6.5. I don't know. It's keeping my interest, but I'm not I sometimes go on my phone.
Yeah, you're not emotionally invested.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. You also said you like Tarantino.
Yep.
We were gonna do Tarantino on top 5. We got 2 directors, which is gonna be dope. But when you said that you're a big Tarantino fan, and it's straight up we're on episode 31, and we're about 6 or 7 people, and I'm like, hey, favorite director, musician, actor. 6 or 7 at Tarantino, bro. Yeah, he's really popular.
Well, because you know it's a Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? And so it's like, you know, a lot of directors, you know, just it's kind of like the same copy and paste, but with Tarantino, it's like, nope, this is a Tarantino movie, and it's just like, all right, let's see it.
So this is my question. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not a Tarantino fan.
Yeah.
I absolutely like him. There's definitely movies I haven't seen of his. But if he was to, like, in the time of remakes and reboots, if he was to redo any series or anything, what would be, like, your top Tarantino remake?
Oof. That's a good fucking question.
Christmas Story.
Oh, shit.
No, that's not my pick. But actually, we were talking about Christmas movie. I feel like Home Alone might be a good one.
Oh, that'd be funny. It's just like all the traps and stuff. There's like arms are coming off and shit.
Yeah, people are losing limbs.
Yeah. Shit. I don't know. Top of my head.
Frozen?
Yeah,
dude.
That
He's never done any animated stuff, has he?
No, he hasn't. Shit. You know, the only thing that come to my head right now is maybe like Die Hard.
Okay.
It's just like yeah.
Just
because it's got the you know the explosions and all that kind of stuff, and you know it can get pretty grimy too. So just adding that Tarantino to it would just really be really fucking off the chain, I think.
I love to see him just do. Yeah, like Home Alone. That's my movie, so that would be cool. But just any PG movie, any kids movie.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
For real.
That would be
I
funny.
think that would be really cool, man. Just take him out of his element. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure he would nail Die Hard.
Yeah.
You know? I don't think there's much he wouldn't do. I mean, what's his worst movie? Jackie Brown?
I would say yeah.
Yeah. And it's still decent.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's still decent, but yeah, I'd say out of all of them, yeah, I would say that.
What's your favorite?
Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Just because I've seen that so many times, and every time it's like even when it's on TV, right? And it has to be on a specific channel. It can't be like if it's on like AMC, it's like I can't watch that because they're gonna censor everything, right? But anytime it's on TV, it's just like no matter where it is in the movie, it's like I sit down and I watch it. So it's just like, yeah, that's it. Definitely Pulp Fiction.
I feel like Reservoir Dogs is my favorite movie of his.
Well, and yeah, even though that was his first, like the idea of it, like it's all about this bank robbery that you never see, and it's always before and after. It's just like amazing, great movie.
All right, I guess we'll get into fucking our top fives then, since we're basically flirting on there. Nolan is my favorite director, so that's pretty sweet. Scorsese's one of yours, I guess. Tarantino would be your number one.
Yeah, definitely Tarantino. Yeah.
Who you want to start with?
Yeah, I'll go Scorsese.
All right. You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right. You might fucking find this crazy, but I watched it maybe for the first time 2 months ago. Yeah. Taxi Driver, number one. Number one. Amazing. Up until that point, my number two is Goodfellas. That was my number one.
Yeah, that's my number one. Yeah.
And
the reason why I like Goodfellas for my number one is just it's not just because it's a gangster movie or whatever, but it's just the incorporation. That's one thing I like about Scorsese is just the incorporation of food in his movies. In all of his movies, there's always like just like moments of food in there. It's just amazing. I love it.
Were you a fan of Sopranos?
It's a series I haven't seen.
Oh,
I know. And it's on my list, that and The Wire.
Yo, get on. You know what? The Wire's on mine too. Yeah. Shutter Island.
Yeah.
I feel like it's some hate, but I enjoy it.
No, it was a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah, that's my number 3. Casino, number 4, and Gangs of New York.
Nice.
That's my number 5.
That was a good movie. Yeah. Scorsese for me. Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street.
The Departed.
You know what? I haven't seen that one.
No, that's good. Casino and Gangs of New York.
Yeah. I also haven't seen. What did he do just recently? The Irishman.
Yeah.
That's him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet either. You see that?
Yeah, that's good. It's like 4 hours, but it's good. It's
an investment, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm talking so much shit. I've seen like Zack Snyder's Justice League 5 times.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely have the time. I'm not even working. I'm laid off right now. Maybe I'll watch it soon. It's not like I don't think it looks good. It's same with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like I do want to watch it, but every time I'm like, oh, let's watch it. I'm like, nah. I don't know why.
My wife's the same way because I keep pushing her to watch it because it's such a like, it all builds up to this ending, right? And it's just like, he's like, you have to watch it because like it's just this big build up. It's like, oh, it's so good, it's so good.
It'll happen soon.
Yeah.
All right, Nolan movies. You want to start off with that?
Sure. Interstellar.
Hell yeah.
Tenet. Inception. And then I just kind of put them all together, the Batmans, because I think they were
I did the same thing. I put them together.
I was
like, I'm not.
Good, man.
Don't make me pick my favorite child.
And then Memento.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Okay, that's an older one.
Yeah.
Was that his? What was his first one? That was one of his first ones.
Yeah, it's one of his first ones. Yeah. But I like with Christopher Nolan, like, I mean, aside from Batman, it's just like it's all situated with time, right? Whether it be, you know, with Interstellar, like the whole concept of moving back and forth of time, and you know.
Don't let me go, Murph.
Yeah.
Don't let me go.
Right.
Who thought Matthew McConaughey could? Dude, I was
yeah.
like, you shouldn't have picked him. You shouldn't have picked him. And then by the end of the movie, I was like, this guy's amazing.
Yeah. Right. And then like with Tenet, it was like time overlapping on itself, and it's like just like this, like the way the movie started is the way it ended, and you're like, wait, what? You're like,
Wow.
You get
It's
halfway
wild,
and it starts going back. You're like, wait, what the fuck? And it's just like you're trying to wrap your head around it. It's like, oh, it's just so awesome, just amazing.
Yeah. Like I said, he's legitimately my favorite director.
Yeah.
It definitely started with Batman Begins. I think it was the first one that I remember seeing of his, and then I kind of went back. I've seen all of them, except for Dunkirk. It's the only one I haven't seen.
Yeah, that was good.
Number one's Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
And okay, so fuck it, let's just do it.
Sure.
In the Dark Knight trilogy, what order would you put them in?
Man. Okay, so the first one was great, but I would put that on the bottom. Fuck, man. The other two, Bane or the Joker, you know what? It's like, that one's fucking hard.
It was such a beautiful ending. The trilogy is just so perfectly done.
Yeah.
I still think to this day, even though it's not part of any shared universe, I think it's like the pinnacle of all these superhero movies. It's like everyone's just trying. I mean, No Way Home will be up there now too, but I think it's just top tier shit.
Yeah, like for me, like I'll watch The Dark Knight and it's just like, yeah, this one's the best one. The fucking Joker, oh my god, Heath Ledger did like awesome job. But then I watch like The Dark Knight Rises. And
Yeah.
He did a fucking good job too. It's just like they're both great villains in different ways, and they're both fucking crazy, and they're different. It's like it's just like that one's hard, man. It's like, yeah, I don't know if I can actually put an answer to that one, man. It's just
All right, I'm
like,
going Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. But no disrespect, I think they're all perfect, like legitimately 10 out of 10 movies.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm not hating on any of those. Number 2, Interstellar. And number 3 is like what you were saying. I just watched it recently. I think maybe if we would have done this a month ago, it might not be so far off the list. But it is a great movie. The Prestige.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Yeah, really good
Fucking Hugh Jackman and
Christian
Bale.
Yeah.
Number 4, Inception. And number 5, Tenet. So we basically have the same list other than Memento.
Yeah.
Although I do like that movie too.
Yeah, because again with time, right? It's just like every day, like fucking loses his memory, and he's got to write shit on his arm because it's just like, it's just crazy.
You are. I feel like I know the answer to this, but let's do comedians.
Sure.
I think I know your number one, but I'll do mine first. I do them all. I've done them a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Rogan, Chappelle, Mark Forward, who's like more of a local Canadian. Like he's kind of gone outside, but he's originally from Oakville. George Carlin, number 4, and Bill Burr's my number 5.
Bill Burr, nice.
I want to take a guess for your number 1. Patrice O'Neill.
Close.
We talk a lot about Patrice when we work together. That's
He's my number 2.
Okay, all right, let's hear it.
Number 1 is George Carlin.
There it is. Yes.
Patrice O'Neill's number 2. Dave Chappelle number 3. Bill Burr number 4.
Oh shit.
And Joe Rogan number 5.
Listen to our lists, bro. Wait, so. Oh my god, what? Do we just have one different? What? Let me see that shit. Yeah, Patrice.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to him, I love him.
Oh yeah, he's great, man. I wish he was around now, man.
Yeah.
This whole like PC culture, it would have just been shattered. Him, Dave Chappelle. Oh my God, George Carlin, if he was still. Oh man.
George Carlin is just. He should be on everyone's list. Like every white fan of comedy should have. I get it if you're black, and because there was just different guys that were representing that community earlier on,
like
and
Eddie
I get
Murphy
it.
And
Richard
Lawrence,
Pryor,
yeah.
But George Carlin is just one of those guys that always needs to be mentioned.
Because like his comedy still stands today, like it's still relevant. That's what's crazy, man.
And just the amount of material he has, like my problem, to be fully honest here, is like coming up with new material.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily coming up with it. It's like I write it and then I'll go and I'll perform some new shit. Yeah. And then the new shit doesn't hit.
Yeah.
And I get discouraged. Even sometimes mid-set. Yeah. And I'll be doing some new shit and like a punchline won't hit. And then I'll just like, I'll fucking switch gears and I'll forget, like I'll have a set list going into it. Yeah. You know, I don't read off anything, but like when I go into it, I know the order of my jokes. Yeah. And then something doesn't hit. Yeah. One or two jokes don't hit, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'm just doing some older shit that I know is going to hit.
That you're comfortable with, kind of thing.
And so I get really discouraged, and with the times, right now, over the last 2 years, it's really been, there's not a lot of open mics, not a lot of places even doing them. Yeah. And I just haven't been working on new shit as much as I want to. It's like I write it. Yeah. But then it's like, that's only a small part. That's like a quarter of it. Yeah. 3/4 of it is performing it, you know? And like, if there's no one there, it's pointless. Yeah. So like, I avoid, like doing Zoom shit is dumb to me. Like
Yeah, because you like to feed off the crowd and all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Listen, that's a tricky art, man. Like, it's just like...
But like, seeing how much material he has and how much it... Sometimes you'll watch specials and like Cat Williams has like, you know, one great special, it's Pimpin' or something, and then like his next special has some stuff from his first special in it. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like I don't think every show comedians need to do all new shit. I don't know if I've ever, maybe a couple times I've done complete new shit and it hasn't gone well, so I shied away from that too. But you know, I try to toss in a couple new jokes every time. But this guy just has, 20 specials.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All of it different stuff. Yeah. Maybe he's talking about the same topics, but it's just so...
A different angle on it, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy,
it's
man.
Just...
Like, I see him as more than a comedian, like almost like a philosopher.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Because just like, again, like a lot of things ahead of his time with, you know, him bringing up from the PC culture stuff. And then, you know, his comedy special on Stuff from the 70s. You know, like, it's still relevant to today. Like, oh, what do we do with all this stuff? We need a bigger house. Like, oh, my God, there's no stuff in here. We gotta get more stuff. It's just, like, it's so true, right? It's like, holy shit. It's like, oh, we gotta put stuff in storage. And then, like, it's so crazy.
No, philosopher's very accurate, though.
Yeah, man.
For sure. I feel like Joe Rogan's up there, too. Like, modern-day philosopher.
Yeah.
Like, people talk shit, but, man, I still love Rogan. I don't get a lot of the hate he gets. I have comedians on here sometimes, and when I mention him in my top 5, I cringe a little bit. Like, you know, fuck out of here, bro. Like, he's made it happen. It doesn't get more grassroots than Joe Rogan just doing it on his own, doing what he wants to do, 100%. And just making that shit happen.
Yeah.
How could you not respect the guy? And, I mean, he's just a truth seeker, I think, at the end of the day.
And I think that's what a lot of people, why they appeal to him, because it's like, you know, he's a great interviewer. Mm-hmm. And I know, like, some of my friends, like they even had to bite their tongue saying that and agreeing with it. And it's like, why is it that was difficult for you to accept? And it's just because he's a comedian. It's just like, I go, you're looking at it wrong. Like, look at it as the comedian is that court jester, that person that exposes the emperor has no clothes, right? Mm-hmm. And he's pointing out things that, you know, like, that's their job, to see these little details that you missed that they're bringing to your attention. It's just like, that's what makes him a great interviewer, because it's like all these little questions that you never thought to ask, or he should ask this, and you don't see other news reporters, you know, would ask it because they're on a major news network or whatever. But he's gonna ask us. This is my podcast,
and he'll also ask the people that they won't ask.
Yeah.
The people that they don't want to talk to.
Yeah.
He'll be like, oh, well, why don't they want to talk to them?
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to them.
That's it.
And that's what I love. It's like
Right.
it doesn't matter really, where they are
Yeah.
on the political
or
scale,
status
or where
or
they
whatever,
stand
yeah.
on the fence, what side of the fence they're on,
Yeah,
or whatever. He just wants to talk.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And it's great. It's just like I want to learn, and it's just like and I kind of like I'm the same way. Like I'll learn about anything from anyone. It's just like I love to learn about things. So it's just like that's why his podcast is it's one of my favorites because you're always whoa, what am I gonna learn today?
Yeah, I don't watch all of them anymore. Yeah. Like for sure, I've been watching less since he's been on Spotify. Do you use Spotify?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have it on my phone, but I just don't use it a lot.
Yeah.
I found I watch more on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, superheroes.
Superheroes. Let's see. Here we go. So number 1, Spider-Man. Number 2, Gambit.
All right.
3, Wolverine. Yeah. Number 4, Batman. Number 5, Captain America.
Wolverine. Heard he's gonna be in fucking Doctor Strange.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, I heard Professor Xavier's gonna be in Doctor Strange.
So that's how they're gonna introduce the X-Men, eh?
I heard Deadpool's gonna be. Now it's all coming back. You're mentioning these people. I'm like, oh yeah.
So Anita, who's playing Wolverine?
Hugh Jackman.
It's Hugh Jackman. I thought he.
That's what the rumor is.
Oh, okay.
Right? It'd be a cool little just cameo to be like,
just...
I saw, what was I watching yesterday? The Prisoners?
Okay,
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And at one point he's like, okay, so it's about like his, 2 girls are kidnapped, and his daughter is one of them. And so they think they know who the guy is. Yeah. And, he basically kidnaps him and he's like fucking torturing him, trying to get some information out of him. And he's like yelling at him. I was like, it just seems so wrong that there's not spikes, claws coming out of his, We need some metal in his hands right now just because he's there like this. But it's just like, it looks a little awkward.
Yeah. But the reason why he did such great, because he dedicated himself to that role, man. You know what I mean? Like the working out, and the guy didn't drink water for like 2-3 days. For
real?
Yeah. So he said, I don't recommend it to anybody. It's like, I would never do it again, but he did it just so he just looked shredded, right? Mm-hmm. But it's fine, because he's like, 6'2" or something like that, and Wolverine's like, 5'3", so it's just like, all right, whatever.
Do you ever see the video? I don't know where they are, but Hugh Jackman is on a stage, and there's this fan.
Oh, and with the camera?
Yeah, and he had the camera, and he gets all into it. And I was like, man, there's not a better person to be playing this role than this guy. That's exactly what you need.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them now, but when I think about it, there's only maybe like 3 or 4 people that I actually think are the only people that could play that role. Yeah. It's just
like Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool.
Iron
Man. Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman, Wolverine.
And I truly, it's relatively new, but I honestly, when I watch it, I can't see anybody doing Peacemaker other than John Cena. Yeah, I was talking about, I was like, hey, how do you feel about John Cena? Like asking you before. And it's like, I don't think he's a great actor.
Yeah.
And I'm a wrestling fan, but to be perfectly honest, I never liked him in wrestling. I always respected him because he's that guy that does... Like, there's no one that's done more Make-A-Wish Foundation things than John Cena.
Oh, shit.
He's done the most, this is like
a landslide kind of thing.
Facts, yeah.
Wow. Good for him.
And so, he's just such a respectable person, and seeing him fucking finally get a role that just fits him.
And his persona kind of thing?
Yeah. I love it. I think it's perfect. I think Peacemaker is legitimately what Captain America should be. If it was a true representation of America, he would be way more like Peacemaker and way more...
But it's like his line from the movie
Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad, when he's just like, I'll kill every first man, woman, and child on earth to get peace. I was like, oh, it's such a good line.
There were so many good things about that too. Him and Bloodsport having their killing battles, who could kill the people in a funnier way or a better way.
Oh shit!
Bill Withers songs.
Yeah.
I enjoy myself some Bill Withers, my man.
Yeah.
You said that, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, haven't really talked about him.
Yeah.
I can go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. You might have some more deep cuts in yours.
Yeah.
Just the two of us. It's memorable.
Yeah.
Will Smith did a decent.
Remix,
yeah. That was actually, to be completely honest, that's how I first discovered. And I was like, oh wait, this is a cover?
Yeah.
And I heard it, I was like, okay, this one's definitely better. Ain't No Sunshine.
Yeah.
It was weird because I was like, Lean on Me is definitely on here. I put it on number 3.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I sung it in, like, school and stuff.
Nice.
And it was, like, just one of those songs that I heard a lot growing up.
Yeah.
Lovely Day.
Classic.
Might be a better song than Lean on Me. Maybe number 3, but it's just not, it didn't play as big of a role, so it's at my number 4.
Yeah.
And then You Got the Stuff.
Yeah, nice. That's a good list. Like, yeah, listen, like, the reason why I love Bill Withers is, like, you know, I'm not an emotional person, and he was a very emotional singer. Like, his lyrics, like, you listen to his lyrics, it's just, like, the detail of his lyrics, and, like, this guy would sing, and it's almost like he's crying in it. Like, it's just, like, he's singing an emotion. That's what it is. And it's, like, even, like, his documentary that he came out with years ago called Still Bill.
I haven't seen it.
It's amazing. He comes out in the documentary. He creates a song with another artist, and he's a blind a Cuban musician. And in the documentary, he's creating a song, and like the song is out there, like it exists now, right? Mm-hmm. It's just like, and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, like
just like that.
How in tuned he was, because he's got his little studio, whatever. Like, I mean, he passed away obviously like a couple years ago, but yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's just like yeah, amazing. Like, so my top 5 is You. It's the reason why it's my favorite song, because there's no chorus. It's almost like a rant, and like there's a lyric in there in that song where he's just like he goes, "You're a man loving Jesus, but says he can't stand a Jew." All right, so it's just like a lot of just exposing people's hypocrisy and all that kind of stuff. So it's like the favorite Bill Withers song. Use Me, Ain't No Sunshine, Heartbreak Road, and Ruby Lee.
Okay.
Those are my top 5.
All right. What are you listening to right now? Any current stuff? Or are you just kind of like
a little bit of
listening to the hits?
No, I was never big with like big hits. I mean, like if I hear it's like, oh, it's a cool, catchy song or whatever. But I'm kind of like all over the place with my music. Like there's some days, like was it the other day I was listening to Metallica, just like on a shuffle, just like their songs. And 2 days ago at work, like just was listening to Bill Withers songs. It was a stressful day. I'm like, I know a guy's gonna calm me down, man, and just endure this shit. So yeah, nothing new. But yeah, I'm just kind of dabble here and there.
Your wife have similar music taste?
Yeah, me and her, yeah. She's aside from the hard rock or whatever. She does not listen to that. Because I'll even throw on some Disturbed or whatever. And she's like, what is this shit? And I'm like, yo, listen to the lyrics. Like, I can't listen to the lyrics. It's just like, just listen to the lyrics, man. So like, you can't get past like the heavy guitar or whatever.
Have you ever seen This Is 40?
Yeah.
With Paul Rudd, and he's talking to his wife and his daughter. He's like, lyrics. You gotta listen to the lyrics. Yeah. I was like 20 or 30 or whatever watching this. Like, this is me already. Like, fuck.
But that's the thing. Like, that was me. That was that moment. It's just like, just listen to what he's saying, man. It's just like, fuck.
No, it's funny. I have. It's very similar with me and my lady. We have some. I think out of all the entertainment, it's really important to have some common ground with your significant other when it comes to music.
Yeah.
And we generally have a lot of that, but the heavier music, she's not really... I shouldn't say that. She's not into my heavy music. She likes, like, Nightwish and shit. She likes, like, metal, like, opera metal or whatever that genre is and shit. So, like, she's not really against super heavy stuff, but a lot of my heavy stuff, she's like, like, what are they saying? You know? And
no Rammstein anytime soon.
No, but it's like, I'm also at the same time, I'm like, no, this is a really positive song. Like, you just are taking it in the wrong way because maybe he's...
slamming the drums too hard.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm exactly the same way. Like, lyrics. You gotta fucking listen to the lyrics. Yeah. A lot of the songs nowadays, they just They're catchy and stuff, but they just don't have no heart.
That's what I find. It's just again, just shallow, right? And that's why like Bill Withers, like, you know, when he came out with the song "Ain't No Sunshine," it's like, you know, the music industry, they wanted an intro and bells and whistles and horns and all that shit. He's like, no, the song is what it is, and it's just like, that's it. It's just quiet and then "Ain't No Sunshine," and he just starts singing. That's it. Like, that's the song, right? And that's why eventually he left the industry. It was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm done, right? And to think, another reason why he's one of my favorite, when his song "Ain't No Sunshine," his first track came out and it was at #1 on the Billboard hits, he was still working his job at an airline installing toilets on planes. Like, his song's literally on the radio and he's installing toilets on the fucking plane. And it's just like, yo, is that you? It's like, yeah. What are you doing working here, man? It's just like, and he started the industry when he was in his 30s, right? So it's just like, there's also this life experience that he has, and like, I have something to write about and sing about because I have this experience where it's like, no offense to the Biebs, but it's like, you know, performing about love and this and at the age of 14. It's like, well, what do you know about it? Right? It's like, come on, man. It's just like, so there's this, like, again, depth into, like, you know, who he is, right? So yeah, that's the reason why Bill Withers for me is like, he's my legitimate #1 greatest artist of all time.
He's good, man. He's good. Punk rock soul.
Yeah.
Guess we'll end on some of these. It's just some cards. You read one, I'll read one. Maybe some stories will come from it, maybe not. Maybe. Sometimes they're just one-word answers. Oh, this is fucking easy. Would you sell someone with a foot fetish pictures of your feet for $20?
Yes.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? Of course.
Yeah.
I'd do it for fucking an Arby's gift card.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
You grab another one?
Yeah, sir. Do a couple of these, get out of here.
Have you ever secretly masturbated while your partner was sleeping next to you?
My ex, yeah. Yeah, I did.
Have I ever? No.
It's hard too, because like you gotta compensate, because obviously you're gonna be moving a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta like move your leg a little more, and just kind of like do these little things just to make it seem like the movement's not just coming from your arm, right?
I'm so restless.
Yeah, and it can't be like you gotta
or dry hump the bed or something.
I actually have a fucking joke about well, it started off with fleshlight in between my mattress and box spring and fucking with no hands. You remember that? I don't know if I did it when you saw me, but then I started branching. I was like, yeah, fleshlight's not as funny. What if I talk about like a cantaloupe that I heated up in the microwave or some shit like that? So I was just kind of like branching off, putting different things in my bed.
Oh shit!
What one's the funniest? But yeah, I also think it's weird that like, you know, women stuff so many things in their vaginas, and then guys get a bad rap if they have like one thing. It's like, oh, like a fleshlight, or I saw these like egg things.
Oh yeah,
have you seen those? Yeah, and it's like
extend or whatever. Yeah,
you're some perv if you have that. It's like you got fucking like a vibrator and a little
and a fist. It's like what? It's just like, come on, man.
I don't like that one. That was lame. I'm almost done these. There's like maybe like 20 left. I'm gonna start a new one. Would you sleep in your bed with an uncovered tarantula, not knowing if you'll be bitten in the night for $10,000?
Nope.
Wow. Spiders is that, eh? You don't like spiders?
You don't like spiders? I'm not a fan of spiders, no. And it's just, again, a tarantula is like, that shit'll bite you and you're fucked. Hell no, man.
I've held a tarantula once before. I'm so, like, against it, and my friend just had it, and she just fucking like had it right in front of me. Put your hand out, and I was like, all right, you're just gonna put it on my fucking chest. I'm gonna hold it instead. But it was, I mean, I just was pretty still the whole time.
Yeah.
I think I would though.
Yeah.
10 G's? Are any tarantula? I'm sure there's some poisonous tarantulas.
Yeah, aren't they all like poisonous?
I don't know.
I'm
not educated in that. I don't wanna go on.
Yeah, fuck that, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do it though.
Like, again, because as far as I know they are, I mean, I could be completely wrong, right? If there's one that wasn't, then I wouldn't give a shit. Like, go ahead, go nuts, I wouldn't care, right? All right, but poison, like, yeah, it's just because there's that chance. Like, nope.
It's too risky. And you see, like, some of these dumbass fucking, it's always the white people with, snakes beside their, like, 6-month-old infant.
Yeah. And it's like, I remember seeing a video where it's just like, this girl's lying. It's like, oh, look, my python's lying next to me. He's like, no, he's sizing you up. It's like, come on,
Not
man.
playing that shit.
Yeah, man. It's just like, no. He's just like, oh, yeah, she'll fit in my body. It's just like, no.
I did live with someone who, my ex, and she had a snake, I had a cat.
Yeah.
It was like this really cool California king snake, like white and black, really cool pattern on it, and not really into like that kind of thing. Freaked me out a little bit, didn't want to hold it a lot.
Yeah.
And then I came back from work one day, and I guess the lid to the tank for the snake was like off. Oh, snake wasn't in there. And it wasn't super big, man. Like, I mean, like maybe like 2.5 feet, really thin. It wasn't thick or anything. Mm-hmm. But it got out, and I was just worried that, like, the cat... And so I ended up finding him. He was kind of, like, nestled under the corner of my dresser. Like, on the ground, I had to, like, stick up, and he was in there. I found him. And when I pulled him out, he had, like, a couple cuts on him that I'm like, I guess the cat fucking swatted at him, scratched him up and shit. And I felt so bad, dude. And, like, what people would normally do, you have cats. I'm going to snuggle with your cat and stuff. And, like, I started doing that with him. His name was Zero. We called him Zero. And I just felt so bad. So I'm like sitting there like, oh man, it'll be okay. Talking to this fucking snake. And like ever since then, I've been kind of cool with snakes. But I would never get one again. Like the only reason I had one there is because my girlfriend liked it. Wouldn't be my first choice.
Yeah.
What's your biggest fear?
Biggest fear. Biggest fear. You know what? Just not being where I want to be in life, like future, like I want to say like successful, because success is different for different people, but you know, there's things that I have planned for, you know, future. Me and my wife have plans what we want, where we want to be, and all that kind of stuff. So biggest fear is just not being there, and you know, just fucking worst case scenario being, and again, no offense to the person, but it's like being that, you know, cashier at the grocery store, because you know, it's like I didn't do it well enough, or I didn't do it right, you know. So I would say that's the big fear. Again, I'm not looking to be a gazillionaire at the mansion. Like I'm not interested in that shit, right? But just to be in a place where I'm comfortable. It's like, you know, I've lived my life and now I'm doing what I want to do instead of doing what I have to do. I guess would be that would be it, right? Yeah. Right, would be the big fear. It's just like, you know, I have this job because I need it. I have to work here, as opposed to like, no, I want to fucking do this, right? So
no, I definitely want that too. That's deep though. I was like, oh, heights.
No.
It's like heights and I think natural disasters for me.
Yeah.
Like you see that volcano that erupted in the middle of the ocean somewhere recently. You didn't hear about that?
Oh, in the Canary Islands.
Maybe like a week ago.
No.
I'm not sure exactly where it was.
I know it was one of the Canary Islands that erupted. That was, I think, December or something.
Like I heard about it, and then I saw, I guess like a 5-second video from space.
Yeah.
No, and it was just like it started off so small, and the way it just got so like natural disasters terrify me, but I'm in a very safe area, I think, in the world. We don't have to worry about really hurricanes or earthquakes,
like that,
volcanoes, none of that shit. So
I mean, if Yellowstone erupts, we're fucked, but that's about it. If Yellowstone erupts.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, North America, like we're done.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
How? Oh fuck! Where is Yellowstone in?
I think like North or South Dakota or something.
Okay, I was off. I was so off.
Listen, I could be completely off. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say Washington. I'm like, oh, that's.
But I think it's somewhere. Yeah, it's somewhere there. I think. Yeah. Yeah, because it's considered like a super volcano. Right?
Yeah.
It hasn't like blown up in like 200,000 years ago, and it's apparently every 200,000 years ago. It's like
we're about due.
Yeah, so it's like fuck.
That's how I feel. Like my logic with a lot of like my irrational fears. Yeah. Like I said, heights. So I'm like about balconies. Like I don't like going. If it's a balcony that I would die from if I fell, I don't want to go on it. Anything higher than 3rd floor, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I don't even really like looking out windows super high. It's weird because I've gone bungee jumping.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 100% going to go skydiving. Like, I'm not like, let fear control you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I'm not rushing to get out on a balcony.
Yeah.
You know? And everyone's like, oh, like, they're so safe. When's the last time you heard? And I was like, well, we're about due. That's my logic, you know?
Well, that's the thing. Like, see, for me, like, heights, I'm not a big fan of heights either, right? But I just get this urge, like, it's like, get the fuck away from me, man. It's just like, ugh. Like,
and in Florida, I feel like sometime last year, there was just some buildings that just collapsed.
Yeah, fucked up, man. Well, and there's reason for it too. It's just like
so close to the water, I think was the
no. So if you watch Cocaine Cowboys on Netflix, they kind of run down as the whys, right?
Okay.
So basically, like Miami was just shit. Like it was just a shithole, and then cocaine started pouring in through the docks and stuff, and the people were just making money. But it's just like, how do we sort out this money? We got to get rid of this money. We got to invest this money because like we can't just hold it, right? So they just started putting into buildings, right, and building. But the thing was, it was kind of like we just need to dump this money, and so the inspections were kind of paid off and all this kind of shit. It's like that's why like it just blew up. So the reason why Miami is because of cocaine and the cocaine culture that started there, and so a lot of stuff was just built half-ass, right? And so now with like again that building that collapse, it's like it was supposed to be repaired years ago. It just no one ever got to it. It's like so that's the reason.
That shit terrifies me, bro.
It's fucked up, man. Can you imagine?
Oh my god.
Can you imagine the person that went out to just grab some milk and he comes back and says, "What the fuck happened?" Like, you know what I mean? You're like, "Oh shit, well, okay." Like,
and apparently there was a child that was found alive.
Oh shit.
And they were from, like, you'd be like, oh, like, where were they? They were in the first floor, for sure. Top floor, dog. Alive. Yeah, did you see the videos of the actual... No. Dude, it's terrifying, man. Fuck. Just thinking... And it was, like, 2 a.m. in the morning when it happened. Like, dude's just sleeping, and all of a sudden...
You just
wake up dead and shit. I guess you can do one more. We'll get out of here, brother.
All right, one more. Let's see.
But yeah, I'm never gonna live in a building, bro.
Have you ever shoplifted?
Ooh, so many times. Man, when I was, so I moved out on my own when I was 16, going up on, January 22nd is my birthday, which was a couple days ago, definitely not today. And I moved out when I was 16, school year, so like September.
Yeah.
So like, I guess 4 months before my 17th birthday. And, you know, I just went through a lot of stuff. I was working. I was in high school. I was young, so I liked to party, and I was irresponsible. Here I was doing it all on my own, and I ended up, for a while, I was, like, stealing things, and people would give me money.
Yeah.
So be like, hey, man, go steal me this sorry, I got hiccups. $120 cologne. I'll give you fucking $50 for it. Like, all right.
Yeah.
You know, so I did that for a bit. And then I actually, funny enough, got caught stealing cologne from Shoppers Drug Mart at Bramley City Center in Brampton. And it was rough because that was like my go-to mall.
Yeah.
And when they got me, I gave them a fake name. And then they were asking me my address. They needed all this information, or they wouldn't let me go. Yeah. And so...
You just made up the address?
I was like, oh, I just moved. And all this stuff, and then I was like, oh, let me call my roommate. Yeah. And like, dude, I'm sitting in an office with a security guard, someone who works for Shoppers, and I think a police officer, or maybe 2 police officers. Yeah. And they're like handing me the phone, telling me to call my roommate to find out my address. Yeah. So I remember the name. My name was Phil Potentier. That was the fake name I got. So I gave him that. And then I called my buddy, and we didn't live together, but he was like one of my best friends at the time. Yeah. And I was like, hey, man. So, and I was, you know, if there wasn't anybody in front of me, it would have been a very easy fix. Like, hey, dude, I just got arrested. I could have fixed it in 5 seconds just explaining it to him, but I couldn't. So I had to, like, be very sneaky and say things with certain tones. So this guy's like, hey, man, I'm just, I can't even remember what I said, but I was like wording it in a way where he understood, and he just said an address. Yeah. And then I gave it to them. They let me go, and I didn't go back to the mall for like 6 months. Yeah. But that was like, I mean, I don't want to say I haven't shoplifted since then. Yeah. Because like, you know, I don't, it's so irresponsible. It's been a while. It has been a while. But, I don't know, maybe like 5-6 years ago, I fucking was in the dollar store,
Yeah.
and there was just like a huge line and like one person at the thing, and I was like, fuck this, I'm just pocketing this shit. And I put back a couple things and took a couple things and then just left.
Nah.
So, but I don't know, man. It's not. Here's the thing, like, what am I gonna steal now that's actually gonna be worth the consequences if I get caught? Not saying I will get caught, but I'm always like, okay, worst case scenario, this happens. Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Is it worth worst case?
Just weigh it out, right?
You know, and it's just not. I'm too old for that shit now.
Yeah. For me, yeah. No, I haven't. The closest thing would be consider, I guess, shoplifting. It does like, like if there's something I forgot to scan or like the self checkout or whatever or.
No, leave the litter underneath. Just wait and see.
Yeah, right. And then I can just plead ignorance. It's like, okay. Like that's about it. Like other than that, it's like, that's it.
They started putting cameras. Did you notice that shit? So now you could see.
But the thing is, everyone's got their masks on and shit. So it's like.
Right. So
true. How are you gonna know it's me?
That's very true, man. The mask, those self checkout things too.
Yeah. So it's like, all right.
I always think it's funny, and I get the mindset. People are like, oh no, like I'm not working for you, Walmart. I'm gonna stand in this line and let these people, get the money, and like these people need jobs and whatever. I get the thing, but it's like, well, there's no but. When I'm at the store and I see that, I'm just like, well, fuck it. Like, I'm not waiting 20 minutes. I'd rather just scan my stuff. Right. Whatever's more convenient.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, I remember in the beginning of this pandemic where it's just like at the grocery stores, you had someone standing there. Like, okay, you can go now. Number 10, number 3, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then now it's like they just have a sign. It's like, go to number 4. Like, that's it. It's going to happen, man.
Yeah, I don't know where we're headed, man. Seems like
weird times.
It's been weird.
Yeah.
Weird time to be alive.
Yeah, definitely.
You can let these people know where to get at you, man, and we'll get out of here.
I mean, follow me on Instagram. It's can't even remember my Instagram name. Shit. Let's see here. It's like so bad.
No, it's all good, man.
Ono_Arias on Instagram. But yeah, other than that, that's basically it.
Are you still doing the cooking thing?
Here and there.
With what was the stuff I got from you?
The dulce de leche?
Yes. Yeah. See, I didn't want to say it. I knew I wouldn't say it right.
Fucking
amazing, dude. That
thanks,
stuff was so good.
Thanks. I still have it. I'm not heavily focused on it. Kind of, I wouldn't say fell apart, but just like kind of put it on hold. But yeah, I still have access to it, and if people want, by all means, reach out. Different flavors and stuff. So, but yeah, no, definitely.
Well, yeah. Thank you for being here, brother.
Thank you for having me, man. It was a great time.
Like always, this podcast is brought to you by Neon Light District. Hit them up. Use code PILLOWTALK to save 10%. And by The Great North Apparel. Hit them up. Use code PILLOWTALK to save 30%. Go get your tickets to the monthly show, February 19th. And see you in 2 weeks. Peace the fuck out.
Peace.